A 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle card got stolen at the National, and I filmed the table a few hours prior. Let's talk about it next.
Batting third, playing right field, number 21, Roberto Clemente.
All right, so I'm back from the National, still trying to recover, still trying to put everything away, but I promised a dealer I would get this video out there to the public. So I was walking the National, and I believe it was Friday. I was walking the National on Friday. I was filming tables. I come upon this table that has, I believe it would be considered two booths. It was a full square of booths, and it was basically a city block of the booth was huge, right? And I walk up to the table, and as always, I was going to ask the table, hey, can I film? Are you guys fine with me filming, right? I always ask for permission. I don't just do it. And the gentleman there was like, hey, I know you. I watch your YouTube channel. I really enjoy what you do. I really enjoy the Fleer Collectors channel. And it's always cool when somebody gives recognition like that. I was very appreciative. And he starts talking to me about the fact that he works for a husband and wife, and that he goes to shows with them, and he's just, he just helps them out at shows, right? And he gives me their card. Their card's right here. They're actually from Arkansas. There's their card right there. And I saw the husband and wife. The husband was, I think, back at the computer. They were trying to buy some cards from somebody. But he said, of course, you could film the tables. So, I go through as always, start filming the tables. I thought they had some really fair pricing at the table. I was really happy to see that. But something I noticed, unlike other booths, they really did all their showcases were the showcases that are on a slant upwards. Most showcases I saw at the show, the dealer had them, they were the completely closed ones, right? But these guys had them on a tilt, and they had these plastic wedges that held the showcases up in the air. And I'm sure a lot of the reason for that is when you have that many cards, it's a lot faster to be able to get to cards and sell them and show them to people than to unlock the case, show the card, lock it back in. So I'm sure a lot of it has to do with, efficiency of being able to sell and show cards to people, right? So I'm going to show you the video right now. I filmed through the table. In the last case, it's kind of crazy how this worked out. The last case, I see a 51 Mantle right there. And like I said, I'm showing the video right now. I showed the 51 Mantle. It just kind of stuck out because it was a really high-end card, with some other Mantle cards that weren't as expensive. And they had a price tag of over $13,000 on it. And if you look it up on PSA says it's worth about $11,500 or so. So give or take on the eye appeal, you're talking about probably a $12,000 card, right? So I'm done. I start filming other tables. I eventually run back to the room. I put my video together, which takes a couple hours. And then I come back over after lunchtime, and I'm just walking the floor. Me and John from 3D80s Kid were just basically just looking at cards and just walking the floor. And the gentleman that talked to me earlier about watching my channel, he goes, "Oh, Theo, stop. Come over here." And I was like, "Yeah, what's going on?" He's like, "Do you still have the video from earlier?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I have the video from earlier." He goes, "I want to see it. I believe the Mantle card was in the case when you were here, and we believe in the last like 3 hours it got stolen." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Okay." So I filmed so many tables. I thought I remember filming it, and I wasn't 100%, but I thought I'd filmed it for sure. So we went through the film, and sure enough, there it was. I think the timestamp was like 10 a.m. when I filmed the table. So the owner came over, John's wife, I believe her name's Carolyn, just from reading the card. Carolyn came over. She goes, we're working with the show authorities. Can you send me that video and tell me what the timestamp is on it? So I shared it with her. I told her that I would make a video, showing what happened. And then next thing you know, I find out that 2 more cards were stolen at close by booths outside of their card being stolen. And it was all within like the same time frame. And, I was talking to them a little bit more real quick. And I said, how do you think they did it? You guys have these open showcases. I said, what do you think happened? And he said, what happened was, and I'll show it on the screen. They have wedges there to block somebody from putting their hands back there, right? But what happened was the person basically went between 2 showcases. He moved them apart with his hand, and then he stuck his hand back there and took it real quick. And then they squeezed them back together, and that was whenever they were getting distracted by somebody else, he said. And I'll show it on the screen. Basically, they went to Walmart and they ordered clips to go between each showcase so somebody can't stretch them and spread them again. And I thought that was, it was a good learning for them. But I obviously felt really horrible about it. I couldn't imagine losing or getting stolen a $12,000 card out of my case. So then he pointed me in the direction of a dealer that had a Michael Jordan card get stolen. So I went down to his booth and I started talking to him, and I'll show it on the screen. It was a PSA 5 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie card. And it literally happened within the same time frame. That wasn't a booth that I went to and filmed, so I didn't have any film, but I said to him, I'm gonna show what happened with the Mantle card on my channel. Do you want to show me what happened with the Jordan card? And I'll put it in the same video. So he shows me, he has a showcase. His showcases were actually completely closed, and they were older showcases. So he said they don't have keys. So he uses tape to tape them closed. And he said essentially he was getting distracted, or maybe it wasn't a distraction, maybe it was just somebody buying, but somebody was talking to him on the opposite side, and they pulled the tape up, they opened it up, they took his Jordan right out and they closed it, and then they left, and that was it. So I'm thinking, like I said, with the time frame, and they told me that there was one other dealer that got a card stolen in around the same time frame and in the same vicinity. It almost feels like somebody kind of canvassed out where they were going to go through, take these cards, and then either leave or maybe go to another dealer and sell them. And I think that's one thing I wanted to talk about at the end of my video now is I'm very appreciative of the National. I'm very appreciative of them giving me a media pass. I'm sure they're still trying to find these cards, and I'm sure these dealers probably, I would hope, would have insurance on them, right? But I think it's important to talk about these things and not talk about them because they're maybe negative in the space. And I think it's first off, talk about it so other dealers can hear about what happened and they can maybe adjust their own setups, right? And also just, talk about it as a community, because these 2 cards, I'm going to put them on the screen. Maybe one of us will see them out there in the wild, and maybe we can report it and hopefully catch the thief and get these cards back to their owner. But I think what we're seeing is the cards are getting more and more expensive now than ever. I heard on the Misfits live stream that there was a Walter Payton rookie card, I believe, that got, I know the card got stolen. I believe it was the Walter Payton rookie card, got stolen at the show from somebody's showcase. And these dealers are bringing their best stuff, all their inventory to the National, and we're talking about millions of dollars at each booth. Millions. I know it might sound like I'm blowing smoke, but it's honestly millions. There's millions of dollars at each booth. And I don't like to compare a card show to a casino, because I'm not saying the gambling aspect of buying cards from a dealer. What I'm saying though is just like a casino, when there's millions of dollars of chips on the table, you know, bad actors come into the casino, right? And bad actors are going to come into the card show. There's millions of dollars right there, right? And they're looking for the dealers that aren't paying attention, that don't have maybe locking showcases, that they could, hey, take this card out, take that card out, take this card out. Next thing you know, the dealer doesn't keep track and one of the cards goes in the guy's pocket, right? Those are some things I'd like to talk about more is down below in the comments is what can the National and other card shows do to help prevent these thefts from happening, right? Now, somebody might say, well, the National had a bunch of security there. They had a bunch of cameras there. They probably have some camera footage of what happened. But my opinion is, and granted, I might be in the minority here. My opinion is you really need to canvass that room with cameras. Just like the casino example. The casino doesn't have one camera on each blackjack table. They have 3 different angles coming in. I saw a lot of security at the show, but I didn't see a lot of security walking. Now, they might have security in plain clothes walking around, but I definitely think there needs to be continued level up in security and cameras. That's just my opinion. Now, granted, if your opinion is it's really on the dealer side, I have a perfect example. My friend Howard Chasser, he's been going to the National the last couple of years and hiring a security guard at his table. And he literally has, if you went to his table this year, he had a security guard sitting there every day. And obviously Howard had to pay for that security guard. Now, you never know. We might have to get to that point now. You know, if you're a dealer with millions of dollars of cards, it might be worthwhile, even though you have insurance, right? To have that peace of mind that somebody is there being paid to watch your cards for you. So I don't know where we're going to go from here, guys, but I'm really worried that it could only get worse, to be honest with you. Like I said, there's just so much chaos at the, not chaos, but there's just so much going on at the show. And the dealers are trying to buy cards, they're trying to sell cards. Like I said, the dealer that got stolen off of had a full square of tables. It was literally 2 booths of tables, you know? So you can't have your eyes on everything when you have that many cards. But like I said, let me know what you think. Hopefully these cards get found. Hopefully there's some justice served. And if you have any information, please share below. Share the video out if possible. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.